So unfortunately, the war in the Middle East is spreading, and the question is now, what war? This is the headline: Pakistan's army strikes back at Iran as both sides urge calm. So now we have Pakistan fighting Iran. We have the U.S. and the other headline below it: U.S. strikes Yemen against as Houthi shipping attacks continue. So I guess we're fighting Yemen, the Houthis, and then moreover, this was yesterday. Unprovoked violation: Iran strikes Syria, Iraq, and Pakistan as Middle East tensions strike. Like, we're getting fighting all over. There's no way you can say this is good. There's just no way you can say this stuff is good. I'll pull up a map here. I mean, just this is just for reference. You can see these countries are all right next to each other, and the problem is, and I've said this to guys before, and I'll say it again. I mean, is just violence begets violence, right? Even if you stop fighting today, like let's say you stop fighting today, you still have to deal with the problems that happened, yesterday and the yesterday before, right? Your brother killed my brother, your sister killed my sister, your sister killed my aunt, right? These kind of things, and then it goes to like, your mom killed my dad, and then you'd be like, hey, your grandfather killed my grandfather, and oh wait, your great grandmother killed my great grandmother. Like you guys get the point of this. I don't want to get involved with this stuff, and I also want to be honest and real about this. If there weren't oil here, we wouldn't get involved. I think that's just a reality. Because if you say, oh no, Chris, you're wrong, we care about human life and stuff like that. Well, if that were true, then the USA would be involved all of the time in places like Africa where there's fighting, or we'd be in like Haiti or Jamaica trying to keep the peace. But we're not. We specifically are concerned about oil. And don't kid yourselves if you believe anyone out there, any president or any person like, oh, we're just here to fight for freedom. Don't kid yourself. Moreover, a lot of this stuff, and I've said this before, I get frustrated about it, is, this boils down to my God's better than your God. And there's some people in the USA that really want to support certain religions over others. It's real. And you'll see it in comments. Oh, Chris, you don't know. This one religion is way better than the other religion. People say these kind of things. And people go to war with this stuff for eternity. I just don't want to be a part of these things. I don't want to support any of this kind of stuff. I don't want to support fighting anywhere. In this way, and it's just frustrating, and I just want to share some thoughts on this and hopefully some sanity to the world. When I see these kind of headlines, I'll just read it to you guys. Palestinian death toll in Gaza rises to 24,285. The way that people in USA handle it, many people, not everyone, but many people, they just look away or they pretend like it doesn't exist. Moreover, if you read the subtitle here, it's like, the ministry also warned of serious health complications facing patients with chronic illnesses, noting that 350,000 of them have been without medication. The basic gist of it, just think about your family. Maybe you have grandma, grandpa, maybe you have a brother or sister, who knows, but they need some sort of meds because they have some sort of illness. And just imagine if you couldn't, get them their meds for whatever reason. You guys have any number of reasons in your family. You don't have working hospitals, and something like, I'm just giving just a really basic, quality of life. What if you don't have running water? Just think how tough it is to keep things clean. And I was reading an article, this is just from a woman's perspective, during, say, that time of the month and during menstruation period, right? You don't have any access to just running water or pads, these kind of stuff. Like, just think about stuff. And I'm just giving you just a couple examples. So not only do you have the death toll, you have the people who are sick, and then people just trying to live their daily lives, and you have food, and the whole situation's horrible. And now we've got more fighting with Pakistan and Iran, and who knows what they're doing over there. But I wanted to talk about something today that I just saw this, and this is sort of why I'm making the video. Maybe they're going to get a deal in place and we can at least ease the tensions. Does this solve every problem ever? No, but at least hopefully maybe we're working towards it. At least I saw a positive headline, so I'm sharing with you. It says, Arab nations develop plan to end the Israel-Hamas war and create a Palestinian state. This probably needs to be done. Can we get Israel to go along with it? Can we just force them to do it? Do we have to bribe them to do it? That's probably what Blinken's over there talking about. I just think from a political perspective, right? The U.S. doesn't want any more fighting this stuff. They know what they're doing is wrong in supporting this stuff. I mean, there's no way you can justify these things. We're looking at so many. The death tolls is so big right now. I want to read through the details and we'll see what's going on here. So it says here, Arab states are working on an initiative to secure a ceasefire, right? So stop the fighting and release the hostages in Gaza as part of a broader plan that could offer Israel a normalization of relations if it agreed to irreversible steps toward a creation of a Palestinian state. So if there is going to be a deal in place, you got to get everyone on board, right? And this goes for both sides, guys. So we got to tell the Palestinians, hey, cut it out with any kind of terrorism. Don't support any of these kind of people, these kind of things. Like I mean, really, you got to get everyone on board, and you got to be on the other side of Israel. Is like, hey, these are the borders. Don't be putting any settlers anywhere. Like, honor agreements. So this would be all around. People got to honor these things. It's my opinion. I mean, it's for this to work. And here's more. It says here, a senior Arab official said they hope to present the plan, which includes the prize of Saudi Arabia formalizing ties with Israel within a few weeks in an effort to end the Israel-Hamas war and prevent a wider conflict erupting in the Middle East. Unfortunately, though, as I just showed you guys with the headlines, we got fighting with Iran and multiple countries, like fighting, bombing each other. It's no good. I mean, let's hope we're not past the point of no return. Else we have here, it says, Arab officials have discussed the plan with U.S. and European governments. It would include Western nations agreeing to formally recognize a Palestinian state or supporting the Palestinians being granted full membership of the UN. So if you guys understand what's going on here, I mean, we got multiple countries involved here, and that's why I think that's what Blinken's doing. He's trying to, it's not him alone, but I'm saying they're all on, working together trying to get a deal. But you got to get everyone on board. If like a couple of countries just don't want to do it, be it someone who's like funding terrorism or whatever, right? I'm just being honest with you guys, or settlers being funded, etc. Like, you have to get everyone on board with this stuff. Here's a quote here: "The real issue is you need hope for Palestinians. It just can't be economic benefits or removal of symbols of occupation." The initiative comes as Israel faces mounting international pressure to end its offensive in besieged Gaza, with the U.S. stepping up diplomatic efforts to prevent a broader conflagration and pushing for a longer-term resolution to a protracted Israeli-Palestinian conflict. So I just wanted to share this news with you. I know the news is going to be headlined with, which I had to do too as well. I mean, the headline is fighting between, Pakistan and Iran and, the U.S. and the Houthis now and stuff. But I think this headline is actually the biggest headline of the day. Usually when these kind of stories come out, mean that there's something going on behind the scenes. They're trying to get a deal. So maybe in a couple of weeks from now, we'll hear something. If you don't hear anything about this in a couple of weeks, maybe the deal's dead. But at least there are movements to try to get peace in the Middle East. And guys, I mean, I'm pushing 50. I always mention my age because you have to understand, we were talking about this stuff for years. I mean, when I was in high school, we had invaded Iraq. This is the U.S. And I remember when I was a kid, this is back in high school, that there'd be people out protesting in the streets. And as a kid in high school, you don't really understand, like, why are you protesting our government? Like, what's wrong with USA? Like, because you don't understand. Like, you don't get it. You just kind of just believe everything the government tells you. I'm just telling you, as a kid, that's sort of like the average kid. Or you don't pay attention at all. You either believe everything the government tells you, or you just don't pay attention at all because you're a kid. And so the protesting stuff is like completely just out of, realm of thinking. But, today's world of social media and stuff, I think the stuff is a little bit different. Hopefully people are a little bit more attuned to these things. Although, to be fair, the average American doesn't care or even know where any of this stuff is on the map. So why would they, give a flying hoot? I think, this simple answer is we're all part of a global community, and you should care about your neighbors. I don't know how else to say it. If you want to just take it from just a personal, selfish perspective, another way to think about it is, the butterfly flaps its wings and it has ripples effects from all over, right? But I mean, just more from humanity's perspective, when I see a headline like this, I care. I care about this kind of thing. But more of a selfish perspective, just to communicate with Americans, because some Americans, they just don't care. I'm just telling you that this is the reality. Some Americans just don't care. Just from that perspective, hey, do you want to be spending your tax dollars on this kind of stuff, or do you want to end it, right? And build roads in your neighborhood opposed to, building roads and funding roads somewhere else. That's another perspective to think about. But I just hope this stuff comes to an end. I get so frustrated. I get livid when I see this stuff. It's upsetting. And I hope the fighting doesn't spread, and I hope that maybe this is the solution, create some sort of Palestinian state. If we have to build the biggest walls possible, you live over there on this side of the fence, and you live over there on that side of the fence, etc. I think the issue is going to be, though, where would you draw the borders, etc. And that's never going to be fair. It's never going to be fair. There's no way to do it fairly, because people will have claims on land. And who knows, maybe there is no solution. That's more of a negative perspective, but I just hope humanity can wake up and just say, hey, think about the end game is that we're going to wipe each other out, which is no good, especially with today's technology that we have. And I'll mention that, and I mentioned it before on channel, I'll just mention it again. If you haven't seen the movie Oppenheimer, please do. The power that we have to destroy ourselves is it's great. It's a great in terms of bad. It's such a great power, a massive power, a terrible power. You're using the word, and we need to be cautious for this kind of stuff. And I don't know. I just wanted to share these things and tell you guys what's going on. And I know we talk about a lot of different things on this channel, but and there's just been so much news coming out lately. I think just the turn of 2024, I personally was hoping for a little bit more positive stuff, things like that. But I don't know. It's off to not a great start of January, but we got a long time to go ahead, and I'm just trying to show you guys maybe there is a solution coming with some sort of Palestinian state and a ceasefire. Let's hope so. So please share your thoughts on this one. What do you think? Do you think this has any teeth? And I'll catch you next video.